Yeah, I just found out that as a booktuber, I should answer the newbie booktube questions. So thank you so much for letting me know that I should do that. I had no idea that this tradition existed. So today I am going to answer the newbie booktube questions. Hi, everyone. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chantel Levon, and I'm so happy that you're joining me here today on Always Be Reading, where we relish in the wonders of literature. But today is going to be a little bit different because instead of focusing on a book to talk about or a book list that I plan to read, I'm going to join the tradition of sharing, or answering, I should say, newbie booktube questions. Now, this tradition was started by a YouTuber, Brenda C., who had a booktube channel. It no longer exists, I think, but she started a tradition by asking 7 questions and answering them about being a booktuber and loving books. And that tradition flourished. And so now I think it's one of those things that people do when they join the booktube space. So I definitely want to honor that tradition, and I found a list of questions. I haven't looked at them, so I'm just gonna go through them, so you're gonna get my real responses at the top of my head, and here we go. I want to say originally there were 7 questions, but the list that I found has 10 questions. So I'm going to be answering those 10 questions. So the first one is why did you start this channel? Very quickly, I started this channel because I realized that I was not engaging in books in the way that I really want to be, my first love way. I am an avid reader. I do a lot of reading, but I discovered in December, this past December, that the majority of my reading is related to work. I'm a homeschooling mom, so I teach literature to my girls, and I read, obviously, for that. But that's kind of like in a work bucket, even though I love what I teach. And also, I'm a senior editor, so there's just a lot of reading in that job as well. And although I do love what I'm reading for that, it is still work. The other type of reading that I was doing was a lot of nonfiction. A lot of nonfiction. So my reading life was work related and nonfiction, and there were very little stories just for my pleasure. So I decided to resurrect my love of story, of literature and fiction, and that's what I decided to do in the year of 2025. And to hold me accountable and build community around that goal, I decided to try and do a YouTube book channel. So that's why I started this channel, guys. You're here to help me get back into my love and habit of reading literature. Okay, number 2. What are some fun and unique things that you think you bring to BookTube? Oh, this is a good question. Well, one, I think every person probably brings something fun and unique because everyone is different. But what I think I bring to this space is I think I bring permission to relax and enjoy and to not be pressured. One of the things that I notice in the booktube space is that people are really into counting how many books they've read, how many pages they've read, and I think that's great if that motivates people. But for me, I kind of title myself as a gentle reader, and I'm not really interested in how many books I read, but the quality of the experience that I'm able to have and the impact that the books have on me. How it changes me, or what it leaves me thinking about, how it expands me, because I really think that that's what literature and all art can do for us. It expands us. So I'm much more interested in that type of experience. And although I do have goals, reading goals, books that I really want to read in a month or at a given time, if I don't reach it, it's okay. I am not going to lie to you all and say I read something that I didn't read, and I don't feel bad about it either, and neither should you. So I think that's what I hope to bring into this space, or hope to, meet people who are also gentle readers. This for me is no pressure. It's not work. It is simply for my pleasure, for my enjoyment, and for my expansion. So I hope that I encourage that, for others as well here. Okay, question number 3. What are you most excited about for this channel? I'm just most excited whenever I'm able to do a video and post it up and share it. I'm excited that that whole process happens. There have been so many times when I'm like, I'm recording and it never recorded, or I lost a video. I'm not technically savvy, you guys. That is not me at all. I'm a paper and pen girl, old fashioned. My husband is very savvy. He does not deal with paper at all. But I really wanted to kind of own this whole process. So I'm like, I got this, honey. I'm going to learn how to video record myself and edit and do all those things and upload it. It's a process, you guys. It is a process. But I'm happy that I'm learning the process. So I think for right now, what excites me is every time I see a video has actually made it on my YouTube channel, that excites me. Maybe if you check back in with me in a year, something else will be exciting me, but that's where I am right now. Okay, number 4, why do you love reading? I love reading. I love reading because reading transports me to different places. I have traveled the world. I've traveled the world physically, but I've traveled even more through books. And I've met so many different people and situations, and I've engaged with different perspectives, and it all has made me a richer person. I also think the other reason why I love to read is that I get really great strategies and ideas from what I read in books. We are in process with ourselves, so we can't see beyond the moment, the present moment that we're in. But in literature, you get to see the whole arc of a character, and you get to think about it, and you get to see how other people respond to it. And we have access often to inner thoughts. And I think it's such a great way to have that pulled up kind of viewpoint, to be able to see. And certainly in my life, I've called upon characters when I found myself in a situation. I'm like, I know how to work through that. I know how to navigate that because of what I've seen characters do in literature. And so that's definitely one reason why I love reading. I think the other reason why I love reading, maybe even the primary reason why I love to read or started my love for reading, is because I felt seen. There are aspects of my, personality. I was the eccentric one in my family, just the kind of quirky, oddballish one in my family. And I remember when I first discovered Anne of Green Gables, I was like, oh, there's somebody a little like me. And that just was so satisfying, and it helped to build my self-esteem and my fondness for myself. And so I think discovering in your aspects of yourself, seeing yourself modeled back in some ways, really is another reason why I love reading, and I love to share reading with other people, especially young people. Okay, what book or series got you into reading? This one is easy for me. It's Nancy Drew. I had every single last classic, which was that hardcover Nancy Drew that ever existed. I had them all. Gosh, I just loved Nancy Drew. It was my first series, and so it was this thing that kept going on and on. There was mystery and adventure mixed with predictableness. The stories definitely had a cadence and a rhythm that it followed, and I was there for all of it. And I especially loved when Nancy Drew got together with the Hardy Boys to solve a mystery. Loved it. I loved my Nancy Drew so much, I did not share it. Nope, you couldn't borrow Nancy Drew. You had to go to the library or have your parents take you to the bookstore. I feel really bad about that, but it's where I was, guys. I'm better at sharing right now, although my favorites, I still don't. I don't know if I've evolved. Listen, Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew. Any Nancy Drew fans out there? Put it in the chat. Let me know who you are. Okay, question number 6. What questions would you ask your favorite BookTubers? I think I would like wisdom-based questions about YouTube, really about how do you protect your joy for doing this in this space, in this YouTube space. Maybe another question I would ask is, what do I need to know that I don't know I need to know? Let me repeat that again. What do I need to know that I don't know I need to know? I think that would be the question. And then they can probably go from there and tell me a whole bunch of stuff. So any booktubers out there, if you are listening to this, please tell me what I need to know that I don't know I need to know. And thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Question number 7. What challenges do you think starting a YouTube channel will be the hardest to overcome? That is also easy for me right now, and it's the technology, because I'm still overcoming technology. I am trying to build a relationship, gain some confidence with technology. Our relationship is getting better, but we're still in that just trying to get to know each other. So maybe in the future I will have a different answer, but for right now, it's technology. Okay, we're almost there, you guys. Number 8, when did you start reading? I honestly don't know when I started reading. I know I was an early reader. I do remember my parents saying I was an early reader, and I don't have a memory where books were not in my life and I wasn't engaging in books. So probably very early. Where do you read? Interesting question. That's very interesting. Where, did I read that right? Yeah. Number 9, where do you read? Well, I read in my house. I think my favorite place to read in my house is my bedroom. Especially when it's clean and there's music on and the candles lit, and it's just a lovely environment, and I'm by myself in here. It's my favorite environment to read in my bedroom. In addition to that, I love reading when I'm traveling. Doesn't matter how I'm traveling. I am not like a phone person when I travel. I'm not on my phone a lot. I really like to just read. And people I get a lot of attention out there in the world with a book. I mean, I think because most people are plugged in, so I stand out when I'm sitting, with a book in my hands, looking very, into a book. It's just, I guess it's odd to people, or it's different, and some people will notice, and then they'll have conversation. I get a lot of actual conversation when I'm out reading. That's the thing. People are fascinated by it. But definitely airport travel, train travel. I love to read. When I'm in the car, I will have chit chat time with my family. I'll do that. And then I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm locking into my book. So, and I have a little book light that I always have on me. So even if it is dark, no worries, I can still read, because you know what? Always be reading. Also recently, let me tell you, I also have figured out how to read and shop. You heard me right. How to read while shopping. So in your cart, that little kind of small section in your cart, I stack up my purses and my bags, and I'll prop my book right, in the cart. And sometimes I have a binder clip so I can hold the page open. And I have figured out how to both read and push my cart, grab what I need, come back to my book. You guys, this has been revolutionary for me, because when I go into the grocery store, it's about a good 30 minutes to an hour experience, depending on what I'm shopping for and what the lines are and all that stuff. And that is some great reading real estate time. You hear me? And especially if I'm in a point in the book where I just have to know what's happening next, well, then the question is, do the kids eat, or does mom finish the book? And since I am a responsible mother, you all, I was like, okay, we're going to have to combine this activity so that both things can happen. And I love now going grocery shopping, because now I get to have some really good reading time. Really good reading time. My husband thinks it's ridiculous, and he's like, I just don't understand you. I don't understand you. But it is truly good reading time. And when I go to Whole Foods, well, book, cart, little glass of wine. It is just so good. So I encourage you. I encourage you to try it out. Give it a try the next time you're in the grocery store by yourself, doing your errands, being responsible. Give it a try. Be patient with yourself because it does take a little bit to kind of like get used to get yourself situated. But definitely do it. I'm going to try to remember next time I'm in the store to take a picture of me grocery shopping reading. Oh, that's what I'll call it, grocery shopping reading, so that you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But you'll figure it out. You just like build like a little platform for your book, you stick it right there, and off you go. And I love to listen to like music, instrumental music. I love instrumental jazz or classical while I'm reading, and it's just like a whole great experience, you guys. You have to try it. You have to try it. Grocery shop reading. That's the thing. Okay, I got to get out of here in a second, but this is the last question, and that is, what kind of books do you like to read? So off the top, I would say my favorite genre is historical fiction. I'm a big historical fiction person, but I am really enjoying like sci-fi, like these sci-fi books that I've been getting into in this new year. I've been enjoying them. So I'm not going to say it's like taking my historical fiction out of the way, but I do enjoy, I have been enjoying the sci-fi, and I also like realism as well, just that kind of slice of life realistic fiction. So I think those are kind of my two favorites. But really, I will read almost anything. I'm up to explore all types of books. Mysteries as well, yes, mysteries. So those are my top three: historical fiction, realistic fiction, and mysteries. So that's all, guys. I answer the newbie question, so I feel like I'm officially like in the BookTube newbie world. I'm happy about that. Thanks so much for sticking around and listening. If you have questions that you want to respond to, you want to share with us, leave them in the comment section below. I respond to every comment, so please, I want to hear from you, and I want to have a good exchange. And if you haven't done so already, I'm going to give you a minute right now where you can like and subscribe, because you know you need to do that, because we are growing this book fam here. That is what we're doing. So go ahead right now. I'm going to just give you a little moment, like a little moment of silence to do it. Bam. Thank you so much. See, because I know you want to, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to do it later. But it's nothing just like handling these things like right in the present. So that's what we do. We like take care of the little things right now so that it gets done. So this has been so much fun. I've enjoyed this time with you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next time. In between now and then, I want you to visit a local bookstore, an independent bookstore, okay? Show them some love by gracing them with your presence and treating yourself with a book. Our independent bookstores need all of the help we can give them, you guys, and I definitely am excited to do so. And if you run across one that you really like, can you share that in the comment section below? Because whenever I travel, I love visiting independent bookstores. So I would love to like collect a list of bookstores to visit when I'm in certain spaces. So please do that. And as always, you guys, you know what to do. That's right. Always be reading. Bye.